बंदिया ओ बंदिया ओ बंदिया ओ बंदिया ओ ओ बंदिया तेरी मंजिलें हुई गुमशुदा फिर भी रास्ता है तेरा मेहरमा ओ मेरे कारवां तेरा हो मेरा नाम मेरे नसीब हो कोई दुआ ओ मेरे कारवां मेरे कारवां
Hello, all of you. Thank you so much for the feedback that you all like this way of learning. That is what we are doing last 3 days. Huh? For example, if it was payment of taxes, yesterday, reverse I have worked. Most important questions we have done and concepts we have studied in the gist way. That is how it is to be done. Same way we are going to do for returns of income. I think last registration say we have started like this, rather than diving deep. Registration, documentation, payment of taxes, that is all the three kind of the ledgers, and today's topic returns. These are the topics where you have to learn the gist way and practice the question answers. If you have understood once, directly I recommend you to do question answers for the topic which you are thinking to leave. Okay, some of you faced network issue or whatever it was, please go through the video. Payment of taxes in 1.5 hours, all the gist with marking. Okay, this will be asked in MCQ, this can be asked in a theory question, how the payments are set off, all that is covered up in just 1.5 hour class. Regular batch है या कोई भी है, इसको ऐसे ही पढ़ना है. चलो, now we are actually coming to the conclusion of the class according to the numbering returns, but we have to do one topic called as exemptions, which compulsory comes for 5 to 7 marks. That we'll do tomorrow. And one more instruction, after doing that exemptions, I will be continuing for those students who are writing CA, CMA both exam, or only for CA, they have added 4 small topics, accounts and records, TDS, TCS, all that, right? So these topics I'll be taking separately. The place of supply. Place of supply, such, I can literally say silly questions they will ask in exam because it is the first attempt. So those 4 topics are not there for the CMA syllabus. So after returns for CMA students, the last topic left, which we will be doing tomorrow, actually it's 4th topic in your book, exemptions. Okay, right? So stay connected, prepare well. Those who are writing CMA exam can then take a break and prepare super well for other subjects and gear up, and honestly spare time and daring to write the chapter wise exam. Okay, right. Any doubts you have asked? Okay, what do you mean by returns? There are some 2, 3 very small but very important amendments here. Almost like returns of income tax. Did we do that? What is returns in the income tax? When one financial year is over, I am declaring to government, okay, this is my income, computation of income, this is my computation of tax, and computation of income and computation of tax, and this is the TDS deducted by sir, ma'am, this, that, and this is the final tax I'm paying. So same way in GST, we have monthly returns. Okay, so those monthly returns are there, and separate yearly returns are there for the composite dealer. Annual return is there, first return is there, final return. Okay, you want to go out of the GST tax regime, आप registration certificate ही surrender कर दे रहे, bye bye. Just file the final return and go. And recently added is self-certification. You know what is self-certification? Whatever turnover I'm showing in income tax, that is auto dropped in 26 AS with your PAN. Like your TDS is auto dropped, वो सब हमने पढ़ा था वहाँ income tax में. In the same way, what is your yearly turnover you are showing in the GSTR return, annual return? Should it match or not? You can't show a different turnover in the GST and different turnover in the income tax. So all those details, everything we will be doing today. I want to go in a different way. I'll teach in my own way what are the concepts which are important. Then we'll check a table and reverse. Few things I'll say just are for reading and done. Question answers बहुत अच्छे हैं. Yesterday also 12 to 13 questions we did. Same way today also we are going to do question and answers. Okay? Right? One dialogue I was sharing it with my final students I want to say, and then I want to start the class. It goes like that. If I could do it earlier, I can do it now. Did you all write your 10th class board exams? Yeah, maybe average 60%, but kiya na padhai. Then 12th class, then foundation. And for all my final students, Inter also, both groups you have completed. So there is some strategy in yourself of preparing in your own way, working hard, smart, consistency. Whatever ingredients are required, you all are having that. So whenever you feel little low or little doubtful, say to yourself, if I have done it earlier, it's not easy to crack the foundation exams also, right? From the point where you enter these professional fields. So if I have done it earlier, I can do it now also, and I'll surely do it. है ना? चलो. So let me share. पहले कहाँ से शुरू करें? नोटबुक से शेयर करें. थोड़ा सा लिख लें आज, because weightage wise this topic is important. तो आज थोड़ा लिख लेते हैं. चलो. Right. Write down the returns which I am going to make you write. The first return, what you file is called as the first return. But सबसे पहले in your GSTR is GSTR1. You know what is about GSTR1? GSTR1 is your output tax detail. Output tax detail. What is your sales detail that you file in GSTR1 by 11th of the next month? As soon as you file GSTR1, the GSTR2, that is input tax, is auto credited in GSTR2A. Okay? Auto generated. If I am saying I have sold the goods to Shriram, I have sold the goods to Rihana, then for Rihana and Shriram, it will be auto dropped in their input tax. But sometimes if they may be unregistered or sometimes they don't take the credit, then it will lie in GSTR2A. Suppose if they have not filed their last month's return, who? Shriram or Rihana, they cannot take the credit. GST is very strict in the sequence that first you take care of the earlier returns and then now. Once everything is streamlined from 2A, it will go into 2B. Now you can take input tax credit. You can take. Just when your taxes are auto dropped in GSTR 2A, you cannot use it, dear students. It will be lying and it will be giving an indicator to you ki, oh, Dipti ma'am, you have purchased from Shriram. No, ask him first to file his GSTR1 and make the payment. Once everything is synced, it will auto drop in 2B and I can take the credit. So do we file the GSTR 2A 2B return? No, it is auto generated. Then we have GSTR 3B. This is my actual monthly return in which I do output tax minus input tax and I pay the tax by way of electronic credit ledger or cash ledger, which we did in yesterday's topic. So GSTR 3B is the monthly return. Okay. Few cases we also follow the policy of QRMP. What is the concept of QRMP? quarterly return. You know, small taxpayers, if you tell them हर एक महीने के बाद 11 तक you have to file GSTR1, then you have to file GSTR3B, then you have to file TDS, then you have to pay advance tax, then you have to do collect TCS. Oh my God, he'll say मैं business करूं या फिर क्या करूं मैं? Right? So in that cases, government has given them facility. Okay, what you can do is, one second, huh? One second. Share screen. Okay, so small kind of the SSEs, government is saying no problem. You can go for quarterly return and monthly payment. See, earlier we were saying ठीक है ना, अभी आप छोटे मोटे SSEs हो, आप एक काम करना, आप रिटर्न ही क्वार्टरली भर लो, चलो कोई बात नहीं. But if they file quarterly return, the other person to whom they are selling, how he is going to take the credit every month? So they say even if you file quarterly return, payment you have to do monthly payment with the help of IFF, invoice furnishing. If you understand the flow what I'm giving you now, you will be able to write superbly in exam, and I'll stress on the amendments which are going to be asked in this chapter. One amendment, if you want to learn, if you want to digest, chew karke khana hai kha jao. The last date of rectifying all your returns is now, not next year September's return. It is 30th of November 2024, or the due date of filing annual return, whichever is earlier. Either in MCQs or question answers, this will surely come. Okay? And now, of course, amendments in my material only I have highlighted in bold, वो भी दिया है. और अभी हम जैसे लिख रहे हैं ना, ये लिखो. Please write it so that you have got a grip on this concept. So with the help of invoice furnishing facility, it is called as invoice furnishing facility. Invoice furnishing facility. Okay. So here what is happening, that every month you can make the payment. You can upload invoices in the GSTR1 and you can make the payment. Okay. And then return you can file quarterly. थोड़ा सा space छोड़ो इसमें, due date and all I will say. After doing this, what is the flow? Is this clear to you? What is GSTR1? Output tax. Sales. GSTR2A, 2B, auto drop. GSTR3B, monthly return. QRMP and IFF for the small taxpayers. इसके बाद आता है 5th one में लिखो composite वाला. They will all go for GSTR4. Composite dealer. Composite supplier. Okay. So composite supplier can file GSTR4. He'll just file the return once. Return once and quarterly. Quarterly he will file the statement. Okay. No input tax credit. याद है सबको? Composite dealer cannot take the input tax credit. He cannot pass on the input tax credit. Just on estimate basis, of course, he will also pay the tax every month. But then quarterly statement he will submit and return once annually. Once annually. Okay. That is your GSTR4. Then the next one is GSTR5. This is the return to be filed by NRTP. You remember, non-resident taxpayer. He should take the registration 5 days prior. He should pay the tax in advance, right? So here one important amendment is there. He should file the return monthly. तो पहले 20th of the next month था, by 13th of next month, by 13th of next month, or within 7 days of expiry of registration. You know, they don't get registration for more than 90 days. And at the most, if they wish, they can extend it to another 90 days. But by paying the tax in advance. So either they can file the return by 13th of next month or within 7 days. Suppose the example I'm giving here, that if registration is taken for 20 days, if registration is taken for 20 days, then annual return is equal to 20 plus 7, that is 27 days. Before the expiry of 7 days, from the date of expiry of the registration, 20 days ke baad or 7 days ke andar, he has to file the return. And let us take the example 2. Suppose if the registration is taken for 80 days. So if it is taken for 80 days, then 13th of the next month will be my due date of filing the return GSTR 5 for non-resident taxable person. Again the due date. Don't think ma'am आपको तो याद है हम कैसे form number याद रखेंगे. Once more you watch this video and you will learn it for sure. ठीक है? So NRTP are going to take registration 5 days in advance, maximum for 90 days. If they take for 90 days, then 13th of next month. Those who are studying from old books and scanner, it is 20 days, but there is a change. If you want, you can do a circle over here. Clear? Anything anyone is not following, then ask. You know, when you newly take the registration, then just like your first GSTR 3B is your annual first return also. First return, first time, the day of liability, the day you are liable to pay the tax, then within 30 days, today my pen is giving trouble, within 30 days. I'm repeating, the date you are liable to take registration, if you apply within 30 days, then you get the certificate, date of certificate. For this period, you have to file first return. Down you can write same as GSTR 3B. Your first return के लिए कोई separate form नहीं है. It's as good as your GSTR 3B. Those who are watching recording, I have a question for you. Why yesterday till now, more than 70 students have taken the notes and watched the videos. That's what come in YouTube studio, payment of taxes. Then why not you all are committed to do the live class with me? Unless same time you opted for some other coaching. There's a different kind of discipline in learning it live. You just learn whatever is important and that's enough. Okay? चलो तो ये वाला क्लियर हो गया आपको. फर्स्ट रिटर्न सेम एज GSTR 3B. Yeah, there are in between gaps which are to be filled up. Like if you ask me, ma'am, what is GSTR 6, then it is the casual taxable person. ISD, casual taxable person, e-commerce operator, और आपका क्या है उसका नाम लास्ट वाला, OIDAR, online data retrieval services. These returns are a part of your syllabus but in final, so unnecessarily we don't want to do extra. Okay, now the next one, 8th one only. This was to a note, like note की तरह लिख दो. 8th वाला हम कर रहे हैं. Okay, GSTR 7. Who will file this? Return for TDS deducted under section 51. Section 50 is interest, dear students. So this is section 51, which says you have to file return for the TDS. Then you have GSTR 8. GSTR 8, this is return for TCS under section 52. 50 was interest, 51 and 52 are not there for the CMA syllabus, but returns हैं, ठीक है, detail नहीं है. Okay, now comes the time to file your annual return. साल में एक बार, what is your taxable turnover, what is your exempt turnover, what is your total tax credit. So you have to file annual tax return before 31st December 2024. If my financial year is 23-24, then before 31st December 2024, we have to file the annual return. Okay, GSTR 9. Even the composite taxpayer should file the annual return. Composite monthly, so he will do it all in GSTR 4. Composite wale. Then we have GSTR 9B. Okay, that is annual return for the e-commerce operator. Write one note, leave. There are some people who don't have to file the annual return. And now the last one is your GSTR 10. That is your final return. Already once they have asked, this question can be repeated, that a person who closes his books and file final return and now he's surrendering back the GST registration. Should he, say he's every year filing annual return before December 24. Now should he file the final return also? You will know what is final return. When a person is cancelling his registration, finally, what is his tax due and all? So is it mandatory to file both while closing? Yes. Why? One is not substitute for another. Write down. While closing, GSTR 9 and GSTR 10 both should be filed. Are you with me? This is an expected question. Ma'am, I've already filed my annual return and now I'm closing the registration. I'm surrendering the registration. I'm cancelling my certificate. Then I should file final return also. Answer is yes. How is this list? All clear to all of you? पूछो. नाम थोड़े बहुत learn हुए या नहीं? Due dates and all पक्का हो जाएगा. 2-3 ways we are going to do it. Literally I am saying few things skip तो कर दो क्योंकि कोई इतना possible ही नहीं है. Like when you do some mistake or there's a delay in filing the return, there is late fees. Now there are so many types of late fees. Literally so bad to say अभी एक बार जो late fees लगाना है 200 per day 100 per day लगा दो. No, here 200 or 0.04% there this. Leave the amounts. Literally I am saying penalty के amount छोड़ दो for the CA students. CMA students don't have it. ठीक है? I'm saying this because so many of you are writing both the exams, so it is better. What is GSTR 1? Your output return. GSTR 2A, 2B auto-populated. GSTR 3B is my actual monthly return which I have to file by, I want all of you to write, I missed out here, by 20th of next month. September ka return by 20th of October I have to file. You can also go for quarterly return, monthly payment. You don't want to go in the hassle of filing the returns every month. Then you can. Composite dealer will file the return in GSTR 4. No ITC is available. NRTP in GSTR 5. First return for the person is same as GSTR 3B. From the date he is liable to the date he gets actual certificate. Okay. GSTR 7 is return for person who collects TDS. It's like central government. GSTR 8 return for the tax collected at source. GSTR 9 is your annual return. GSTR 10 is final return. When the GST registration is cancelled, you have to file your annual return as well as your final return. All clear to all of you? Chalo. Let us now go for the टेबल से पढ़ के देखते हैं. Yeah, check with me. I'm doing it in a different way today. Directly, I'm going in the table, and then some amendments are there, one or two limits are there for MCQs, वो भी पढ़ेंगे. Contents of the return, they are there in your syllabus I have given, but just like हमने tax invoice कैसे एक बार देख लिया कि क्या क्या होगा, वैसे ही you can skip. Yeah, all of you please open this table 1 second, dear students. Table पढ़ो बेटा एक बार. Thank you for waiting. चलो ये देखो. List of the returns. First is section 37. GSTR 1. Monthly statement of the output supplies. See, unless I don't file by GSTR by 11th of the next month, my recipient won't be able to take input tax credit. Is this clear to all of you? So monthly, we are just doing it in gist way and around 10 quality good questions. Out of that, only repeatedly questions are asked. Monthly statement of outward supplies are filed by registered person, including the casual taxable person. Casual taxable person is a person who's registered in one state, but for business he goes in other state. So by 11th of the next one. Quarterly statement of outward supplies. Registered person with annual turnover up to 5 crore. Huh? If your turnover is up to 5 crore, then you can go for QRMP. What is QRMP? Quarterly return and monthly payment. By 13th of the month succeeding the quarter. Okay, 13th of the month you have to go for the QRMP. इसको डिटेल में अलग से भी पढ़ेंगे हम. चलो, next is GSTR 3B. Monthly return for a normal taxpayer by 20th of the next one. This is your every month return. Registered person who's opting for QRMP, including a CTP, can file quarterly return. Payment monthly होगा. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? Because if you say, ma'am, I'll file quarterly return, quarterly payment, how will the other person take input tax credit? So if your turnover is up to 5 crore, you make payment by 13th of next month, but quarterly return, है ना? Quarterly return 22nd and 24th of the month, depending upon the state or union territory in which you are located. For north and eastern states, it's 22nd, otherwise 24th of the month after the quarter. Who? QRMP. I want to repeat, QRMP will make monthly payment of the output tax, but return they will file quarterly. Okay? Now, GSTR 4 is your annual return for the whole year. And recent amendment with an annual return is, as I said, certification. Self-certification that your turnover and income tax is same as here. So, GSTR 4. GSTR 4 annual return नहीं है, composition है. ये printing mistake है, correction नहीं हुआ. 1 second. I'll also write it with me so that it is again not repeated. . GSTR 4 is your composition. जो composition में जाते हैं ना, खुद से ही कर देते हैं, उनके लिए annual return. Annual return correctly लिखा है, but for composition. Registered person opting for composition by 30th of April of the next financial year. So your financial year is 23-24. By 30th of April 24, those who go for composition should file their annual return and quarterly statement for self-assessment. You know, every quarter, whatever is their turnover, uska 1%, kuch to chota mota tax they pay on their own self. Registered person opting for composition levy by 18th of the month succeeding the quarter, they will file the statement ki kitna hai turnover and they'll pay the tax. Anyhow, there is no input tax credit, so GSTR 1 nahi hai, GSTR 3 bhi nahi hai, because composition is not in the chain. Okay, so quarterly statement for the payment of self-assessed tax. Registered person opting for composition, what they will do? Yes, quarterly they will file the statement and make the payment. Yearly once only they will file the return. MCQ के लिए ये टेबल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, वापस पढ़ो और just take a print out of this table, paste it somewhere and keep reading it. Okay, right, चलो next. GSTR 5, monthly return for the NRTP by 13th of the next month. This was 20th, abhi 13th ho gaya hai, or within 7 days from the expiry of the registration. GSTR 5. Next is GSTR 3B, first return. Details of outward supplies made after becoming liable to registration, but before the grant of the certificate of registration. ठीक है, first return. GSTR 7, return of TDS. Recipient. So many times if we are supplying the goods to central government and state government and the value of the supply exceeds 2,50,000, then government will deduct the TDS under section 51 and they will file the return and say that statement GSTR 7. Okay, this more we will do in section 51 and 52. GSTR 7 is the return for TDS. GSTR 8 is statement of TCS. Monthly statement of e-commerce operator who will collect the TCS on or before 10th of the next month. Annual return. The whole year is over, so we have to file annual return in GSTR 9 by 31st of December of the next year. Annual return is also to be filed by composite. Composite taxpayer will file one second and used to the form number. Composite taxpayer will file the annual return by in the form number 9A by 30th of April only. GSTR 9B, annual return by e-commerce operator. Okay. In 9B, final return. When you surrender your certificate, that time you have to file the final return within taxable person whose registration has been surrendered or cancelled within 3 months of the date of cancellation or the date of order of cancellation, whichever is later. Date of cancellation or date of order of cancellation के 3 months के अंदर final return file करना पड़ेगा. And one more is there, GSTR 11, details of inward supplies for person who has been issued UIN, unique identification number. This is basically used for the people who are exporting the goods, but then whatever inputs they get a refund of duties paid on inputs. That's why they have to file the details of inward in GSTR 11. Okay. Is the table clear to you? The flow clear to you? पूछो. Composite dealer quarterly payment करेंगे और annual return file करेंगे. See, like here it is 2A 2B में ऑटो ड्रॉप होता है ना, यहाँ पे भी ऑटो ड्रॉप होता है GSTR4. Done. Chalo, now we will begin the chapter. Ab now we are comfortable with the names of all the returns. Some procedural part we will just read, few things we can skip. Don't leave the topic. When I do the question answer, it's very easy. Did you all enjoy or not? So many of you already message, and if it is honestly dil se kal 1.5 घंटे में payment of taxes was clear with quality good 12 problems, then comment below that video. That will motivate me also कि okay, whatever we are giving is the right way. है ना? चलो, जो बाकी प्रोसीजरल पार्ट है वो स्किप करेंगे बेटा. जस्ट 2 seconds वेट प्लीज. यस, section 37, furnishing of the details in GSTR1 by 11th of next month. Write it so that you learn it. Section 38, furnishing of inward details GSTR 2A 2B auto populated. अपने आप आएगा. You cannot do any entry. Like you remember yesterday I did electronic cash ledger, liability ledger, electronic credit. You cannot do any entry in electronic credit ledger. Whatever credit is there, you can use for payment. Like that, GSTR1 you have to file by 11th of next month. GSTR2A and 2B you cannot do any entry. GSTR3B is, dear students, monthly return by 20th of the next month. Your first return, section 40, 44 is annual return, 9, 9A, 9B, final return, notice to the return defaulters, levy of the late fees. I am telling you, skip this. It's not कि it is tough, but levy of the late fees, there are so many kind of late fees given, numericals, जो वैसे ही याद नहीं रहने वाले. Section 48 is GSTP, goods and service tax preparer. Like we had TRPs in income tax. TRP ये टीवी सीरियल की TRP नहीं है, ये क्या है? Tax return preparers. In income tax return topic we have studied. That's what we are going to do here. Okay. What do you mean by return is a statement of information. What is the tax payable and all. It is the most important aspect of the procedural part. Like if I say the spine of your body is what? ITC. GST का main spinal cord क्या है? Input tax credit. तो this is तो pumping heart like. Return भरेंगे तभी तो all authenticity, all clarity will come. कि how much is your output tax, what is input tax, and so on. And the returns are chained in such a way that my output is your input. If I'm not paying the tax to government, you are not able to take input tax credit. You cannot set off. तो ना वो chain फिर break हो जाएगा. Okay, right. The return serves the following purposes. You can say advantages. Modes for transfer of information to the tax administrator, compliance verification, finalization of the tax liabilities, providing necessary inputs on the basis of which policy decisions can be taken, management of audit and anti-evasion program. Your turnover in GST and your turnover in income tax should tally, dear students. Yeah, right. Okay. Now, how do you file the GSTR return? One way is you can log into the portal and you can upload all the output tax detail invoice wise in the GSTR1 and it will be uploaded. Or offline utilities. If you want to choose at online portal only, You can choose the offline utilities. So उससे क्या होगा offline utilities से because my GSTR 1 which has output tax invoice wise, I will do all that in Excel from my tally and Excel and all, and then I will upload in one click of a button. It's the same way, either you do live on the portal or you take offline facilities. Or we have GST Suvidha providers. These are third parties, yeah, who can help you to comply with the GST. GSPs will develop application for return filing, reconciliation. These are like all the softwares. Like we have now Tally ERP 9, which is having all the features of the GST also. So directly from the Tally only, I can upload all the details. Nil return filers, no purchase, no sale, shall be given facility to find the return by SMS. अब इसको स्टार मार्क करो, इसमें से क्वेश्चन आते हैं. First of all, this month, because I am busy in some other work, I did not purchase anything, neither I sold anything. So is it mandatory, ma'am, to file nil return? Answer is yes. But suppose if I have not sold anything, but I have purchased. So purchased will to go in ITC, no? Then it is not a nil return. It's a routine return with output being zero and input tax credit can continue. Okay, suppose I don't have any output tax, I don't have any input tax, but there are cases wherein I am liable to pay the tax on basis of RCM. In my company, I have taken a service of a cab wala, and on behalf of that cab wala, we are paying the tax in RCM. Bas utna sa. There is no output tax, input tax. But obviously, when I'm paying the tax on RCM, I can take input tax credit. Then it is not a nil return. I'm opening up the things. Of course, ma'am, whatever you said is like 5-6 lines, and here nothing is there. Okay. So definitely. Nil return is clear to all of you? Yeah. चेक करो एक बार. So how do you file your return? Either through portal or offline or through softwares or nil return also you have to file. Is it mandatory to file the nil return? Answer is yes. Until now, any one of you is having doubt? Then ask. All clear? Chalo, next. Furnishing details of outward supplies. So let us start now one by one detail. Now this is the procedural part. We have done the table, we have done the base. Now इसमें जो amendments है उस पे ध्यान देंगे. बाकी simple things are repeated. Who is person liable to file the outward? You know what is outward? GSTR1. The detail of outward supplies of both goods and services are required to be furnished by every registered person, including the casual taxable person. Because if I don't give my details of outward supply in GSTR 1 by 11th of the next month, then the other person will not be able to take credit. Huh? Who doesn't have to file the GSTR 1? Input service distributor, NRTP, composition, TDS, TCS, and online. So most of these, so detail you will do it in final. Composition or alag se hai. So they don't have to pay output. Composition is breaking the chain. Their output tax, others can't take input tax. Followed? Right. So you have to give the details of your outward tax for goods and services both in GSTR 1. The details of outward tax are to be given in GSTR 1. Invoice related details can be uploaded anytime. Uploaded invoices, it's like I have to file my GSTR 1 for the month of February by 11th of March. So don't wait for 11th. You can keep on uploading invoices and at one click it will all go together. Okay? Right. Registered person who are opting for quarterly return, monthly payment, then they have to submit GSTR 1 by 13th of the next month, others 11th of the next month. GSTR 1 is output tax based on which you will take input tax, and this is to be done by 13th day of the month. In case of QRPM, in case of others, it's 11th day. As a measure of easing the compliance requirement for small taxpayers, GSTR 1 has been allowed to be filed quarterly by small taxpayers with aggregate annual turnover up to 5 crore. So you can go for QRMP if your turnover is up to 5 crore. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं up to 5 crore. If your turnover is up to 5 crore, instead of filing monthly return, you can go for quarterly return. But payment you have to do monthly with IFF facility. Invoice furnishing facility. What is that? An optional facility provided to quarterly taxpayers to file their details of outward supply in first 2 months between first to succeeding month till 13th. Up to cumulative value of 50 lakhs in each of the first 2 months to pass on the credit. See, a small taxpayer will file his April, May, June return by 20th of July, GSTR 3B. But to whoever I have sold in April, they want to avail the ITC in the May only and they want to set off. So they will not be able to do because I have not taken any action. So even though I'm going to file my return quarterly by 20th of July after completing this quarter, can I make payment monthly by 13th of May? April का पेमेंट, मई का पेमेंट 13th of June, और जून का तो वैसे ही you will do GSTR 1 by 11th of July. Everyone is able to correlate with the dates what I am saying. If your turnover is up to 5 crore, optionally you can do monthly return GSTR 1, 2A, 2B, auto populated GSTR 3 कर सकते हो बेटा. But here what it is, that instead of that you can go for quarterly return, yes, and monthly payment. But monthly payment you have to take the help of invoice furnishing facility and upload invoices up to 50 lakhs in the first month of April by 13th of the May. May ka by 13th of June. June ka 11th of the July GSTR 1 will only be filed. So this will be helpful to the pass on the credit also. ठीक है? Right. Registered person are not allowed to furnish the details of outward supply. If I don't supply outward detail, you will not be able to take the credit. So what are the cases wherein you are not allowed to furnish the details in GSTR 1? If he has not furnished the return in GSTR 3B for the preceding month. पहले लास्ट मंथ का कंप्लायंस करो, फिर अभी की बात करो. You want to file GSTR 1 by 11th of the next month on time. What about the GSTR 3B of earlier period? If the person opting QRPM has not furnished GSTR 3B for the preceding tax period quarterly, person to him intimation has been sent under 88C unless he deposits amount in intimation. Now, ma'am, what is rule 88C? It will come in detail. Aage, recently added, but the one-liner gist is, suppose there's a difference in the ITC obtained 10 rupees, but ITC credit I have availed and set off in my output tax is 30. Are you getting what I'm saying? Input output karte waqt I'm showing input tax credit 30. Whereas in my GSTR 1 auto populated and in my GSTR 2B it is only 10. 13 nahi hai input tax credit. So there's a shortfall in input tax credit. The department will intimate and department will say, okay, you pay the difference along with interest, then we will allow. That's rule 88C. आगे सब है डिटेल में, but as I said we are doing gist wise, तो इसको ऐसे ही करना है हमको. देखो yeah, registered person who's not allowed to file the GSTR 1 if he has not furnished his GSTR 3B monthly or QRPN के case में quarterly or person to whom intimation is given under rule 88C unless he deposits. या तो आप पैसे deposit करो या फिर आप reason explain करो. A registered person to whom an intimation has been issued on common portal under the provisions of 88D shall not be allowed to furnish for a period subsequent unless he has either paid the amount equal to ITC or has furnished a reply explaining the reason in respect of amount or excess ITC that still remains. Okay, तो या तो आप पे करो या तो आप रीजन बता दो हमको. Clear to all of you? Right. A registered person shall not be allowed to furnish GSTR 1 or IFF monthly if he has not furnished the details provisions of the bank. 15-digit bank account number with the IFSC code और वो सब जरूरी है आपका. अगर नहीं बताते हैं तो GSTR 1 you cannot upload. When I cannot upload GSTR 1, you will not be able to claim GSTR 2B. And I can't file my GSTR 3B. समझ में आ रहा है? GSTR 1 cannot be furnished before end of tax period if the period is not over. GSTR for the month of November cannot be submitted before 30th of November. You know, I decided 18th of November I'm traveling to USA, full and final settlement, never to come back in India. Then also, abhi the November month is not over. I cannot file the GSTR 1 for the month which is yet not completed. ये सब छोटे छोटे रूल्स हैं, जितने याद रहे ठीक है, नहीं है कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ लगा के आप करोगे. Just wait for 30 minutes more. When I go to question answers, you'll just like it. Following are the exceptions to the rule. Generally, if the month is not over, you are not allowed to file the GSTR 1 except casual taxpayers after the closure of their business. I went to Mumbai and 10th of November to 18th of November, there was an exhibition in Mumbai. I hope you remember that casual taxable person have to take the registration 5 days prior to the date when they are liable to pay the tax, and their registration valid for 90 days and they have to pay the tax in advance. So I went to November as a CTP to Mumbai. I'm a registered supplier in Hyderabad, Telangana. Once exhibition is over, can they say, अरे 30th नवंबर खत्म नहीं हुआ अभी ऐसे कैसे आप GSTR 1 डाल दोगे, नहीं होगा, all that. No, even if the month is not over, they can. Or the cancellation of the GSTN की time also, no need to wait. Okay, that's all for GSTR 1. Who should submit GSTR 1 output detail? Yes, by 11th of next month. QRPM के केस में 13th of next month. And first two, even if you are going for quarterly submitting of the GSTR1, still first 2 months up to 50 lakhs, you have to upload the invoices by 13th of the succeeding month. Okay, right. And if you're not filing your earlier return properly, you're not allowed to take the GSTR credit. Even if there is no transaction, you have to file nil return. Chalo. That's all for this GSTR1. Shall we do some questions related to this? I've given it at the back. ठीक है, एक बार ये देख लो कंटेंट क्या है. GSTR1 में क्या क्या होगा? लीगल नेम, टर्नओवर, HSN कोड, B2B including UIN, B2C for interstate supplies more than 2,50,000. Consolidated details for B2C. See, what is GSTR1? Sale, buy, sale. So whatever I have sold to consumer so many times, because the consumer doesn't need the invoice, he is unregistered, I may not have the detail of dealer wise. So for my B2C sales, can I submit consolidated detail in the GSTR1? Yes. B2B individual number बताना पड़ेगा. B2C, if it is interstate supplies, that too greater than 2,50,000, तब फिर मुझे अलग से बताना होगा. This I want all of you to write, refer table below. अभी एक टेबल आएगा, उसमें हम करेंगे. Okay, right. Students are losing the patience now, is it? Ansh, why is it all theoretical लग रहा है थोड़ा सा? Did you follow the names of the returns? Now this can come in the MCQ. Of course, we are going to do the question answers by the end of the class today itself. So wait and watch. Live करने में ही मजा है. खत्म कर दो इसको. You need time for business head, capital gain, deductions, revision. ठीक है? चलो, कोई डाउट है तो पूछो बेटा. अब इसको मैंने 2-3 बार लिखा है. I've written here also. I've written in flowchart. First of all, do you know what is B2B, business to business, and what is B2C, business to consumers? आ जाओ. So GSTR1 में, if it is B2B transaction, interstate है या intrastate है, you have to upload invoice wise details because the other entity wants to take input tax credit. Clear? Huh? GSTR1, buy, output sales. If I am selling B2B, means I am also registered, the buyer is also registered. Then, whether it is intrastate or interstate sales, I have to give invoice wise details so that other person can take input tax credit. Now, it is B2C. Ma'am, B2C, no? Yesterday, day before yesterday, only we have seen in tax invoice. Are you liking the last 4 classes? I'm again repeating. Yesterday, it was payment of taxes, 1 class, gist, concept, and problems. Tax invoice, 1 class, gist, concept, return. Registration, 1 class, solving of the problems, and finish. That's the same way we are going to. So, those who are anxious to know कि मैम कितने तक ऐसा चलेगा, तो बहुत emphasis करके I'll tell you the amendments, and then all the 11 problems will be over in another 45 minutes. Okay, मैम ये भी बता देते हैं आप, क्या करें? Right. Thank you that you all are liking these classes, and I feel so happy. Some of you had network issue, but still you managed to complete the class, payment of taxes. Notes, you all are taking the printout, Telegram and challenges group. I'm giving these notes, right? Chapter wise exam, we will keep it in the challenges group only, not anywhere else. Okay. So those who have attended the coaching can write the chapter wise exam. Chalo. B2C, intrastate है तो consolidated detail of all the supplies you can upload, consolidated. because it is B2C na, no ITC. If it is interstate and invoice is more than 2,50,000, invoice wise details. If the invoices which are less than 2,50,000, state wise details. Take your time, ask your doubts. Bolo. Yeah, please mark it very important for MCQ. If I am repeating fourth time, understand ki Dipti ma'am is making us learn important thing. We are in the first return GSTR 1. Bye bye. This month says bye bye by 11th of next month. Agar quarterly hai to 13th of next month, so that other party can take input tax credit. So if it is B2B, I have to upload invoice wise detail, but I can, keep on uploading from 1st of May. ऐसा नहीं है कि 11th में है तो उसी दिन करेंगे. You can keep uploading and then at a stretch put. Or if it is B2C, okay. If it is B2C intrastate, then no problem. Interstate hai to invoice is more than 2,50,000, then invoice wise details. Less than 2,50,000, then state wise details. All clear? Chalo. Debit note and credit note. Registered person is required to furnish details of debit note and credit note. If so many times you remember, I have issued an invoice of 5,000. Actually, it was 50,000. So 45,000 I have issued debit note. So uske basis pe bhi the other person can take the input tax credit, no? Invoice ka hi part hai debit note and credit note. Following aspects are to be noted. Invoice can be modified any number of times till the submission of GSTR 1. Uploaded invoice details are in draft version. Once you file GSTR 1, then you cannot make a change. There is no need to upload scanned. ये भी exam में theory question आ चुका है. Ma'am, just now you said invoice wise details. That doesn't mean you have to keep scanning 1 lakh invoices and upload it. Invoice wise detail means some important aspects of invoice you have to upload. There is no need to upload scanned copy of invoices. Only certain prescribed field of information from invoices need to be uploaded, like invoice number, date, value, taxable value, rate. In case there is no consideration but it is supply by virtue of schedule 1, that is deemed supply, the taxable value have to be worked out, है ना? ठीक है. You have to put the HSN code also 4 digit, otherwise 6 digit. Details of outward supplies furnished in prior period. So many times there is amendment in GSTR 1. For example, I have filed the GSTR 1 for April 23. Now there is an error which I came to know in November 23. So November 23 का जो GSTR 1 है, that has a column for auto correction of earlier GST. Can we correct it? Yes. Okay. But the time limit for rectification, star mark, one of the most important adjustments. Anyone studying from old books, it will be 30th of September. But now it is 30th of November of succeeding financial year or actual date of furnishing the annual return. Whichever is early. ये लिखा है ना earlier. Renav Limited furnished annual return for 23-24 on August 24. An error is discovered and now they want to annual return नहीं होगा. GSTR1 return. GSTR1 return करो. आपका जो monthly return है वो आपने file कर दिया. I know if I go by question answers, it will be so easy. But कुछ तो base बनना चाहिए ना बेटा. This amendment applies to all the return. यहाँ पे लिख दो amendment for all return. So suppose if GSTR 1 you have filed in the month of April 23, but there is a mistake. There is no concept of revised return in GST. Like in income tax, if you have furnished wrong return, you can rectify it by December. ऐसा यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं है. You cannot rectify. So what is the option then? Whenever you want to rectify, you can for financial year 23-24 by 30th of November or furnishing annual return, whichever is early. Thus, in case the annual return has been furnished on 25th August, which is earlier of 30/11, the rectification of error for November 23 cannot be made by 25th August 24, है ना? या तो 30th of November या annual return की date, whichever is earlier. Clear to all of you? Yeah. Did I say you have to file nil return? You can file through an SMS also, but mandatory है करना. GSTR 1 needs to be filed even if there is no business. Nil return can be filed if there is no outward supply, no inward supply, including RCM. Okay, there was no outward, but I have paid tax on RCM. Then it's not nil return. Nil return can be filed through SMS. GSTR 1 can be filed anytime from first day of the subsequent month. For April, nil return can be filed from 1st May. Filing of GSTR for current month is possible only when you have filed the GSTR for earlier period. Taxpayers opting for voluntary cancellation will have to file GSTR 1 for the active period. If I have cancelled my GSTR registration in October, still for September, I have to file the return in routine. In cases where the taxpayers has been converted from normal to composition, GSTR 1 will have to be filed for the time जहां तक वो normal था. ठीक है, prior to conversion. Detail of outward supply for months are communicated. ये सब auto populate होगा. ठीक है, चलो. So we have completed GSTR 1. खुद से भरो, quarterly भरो, monthly भरो, nil भरो, तभी the other person will be able to take the credit. Okay? 2 to 3 minutes of quick break and assemble back. ये 2-3 return करने के बाद straight I'll go to the question and answer. Okay? 2 minutes. Please wait. All right. So we have completed GSTR 1. We'll be doing questions little later. Let us quickly do now GSTR, furnishing details of inward supplies. That is GSTR 2A, 2B. Now this is auto-populated. We all know it is auto-generated. Okay. But here this has been the latest amendment. Details of supplies in respect of which ITC cannot be availed whether wholly or partly by the recipient. So it will lie in GSTR 2A, but you cannot transfer it in 2B beta. What are those cases? When a registered person with such period of taking registration, just initially if he has taken the registration, auto drop nahi hoga uske account mein. Any registered person who has defaulted in payment of tax where such default has continued. Okay. Any registered person output tax payable by him in accordance with GSTR 1 exceeds the output tax paid in GSTR 3B for a particular tax period. So what sales I am showing in GSTR 1 and the sales I am showing in GSTR 3B is differing. Any registered person, the output tax in accordance with exceeds, ye to kiya. Any registered person who has availed ITC an amount that exceeds credit that can be availed as per GST. Zada over ITC you have taken. Any person who has defaulted in discharging his liability in accordance with the provisions of 4912 or Rule 86B, that at least 1% of output tax you have to pay in cash. Even if your ITC is 5 rupees and your output tax is 3 lakh, हाँ, और आपके पास input tax credit 5 lakh है, फिर भी 3 lakh का 1% that is 3,000 you have to pay in cash. Is this clear to all of you? So these are like small compliances. If you are not complying, your GSTR 2B mein ITC will not reflect. Okay? And I told you 88C rule has been added. Some of the books they are showing this rule in payment topic, some are showing in return topic. I have given it in return topic. Now it is very simple. Please don't go by same copy paste, same language is there. What it is saying, where a tax payable by a registered person has furnished GSTR 1 using IFF and it exceeds the amount of tax payable by such person in accordance with return for the period furnished by him in GSTR 3B by such amount as may be recommended, the registered person shall be intimated. Your outward tax in GSTR 1 is coming to 10 lakh, but your outward tax in GSTR 3B is 12 lakhs. So one may you have shown outward tax less, Now 3B में 12 lakhs. So 2 lakhs pay the tax or explain us why there's a difference of 2 lakh. Such register person will be intimated electronically on the portal, and even mail you will set on the registered ID. An intimation set difference will be highlighted, and he will be asked to pay the difference along with interest or explain the difference within 7 days. So registered person, समझ में आ रहा है आपको? GSTR1 is output tax, GSTR2B is input, GSTR3B is output minus input. So 1 and 3 should tally. If it is not tallying, either pay the tax or explain us the reason within a period of 7 days. Where an amount specified in said intimation remains unpaid within 7 days, and where no explanation or reason is furnished by the registered person in default, or where explanation is furnished is not found to be acceptable, the proper officer shall recover the tax in 79. 79 of final mein padhoge, but that's a different mode of recovery of the tax. See, we told you your output tax is 12 lakhs, but in GSTR1 you have shown 10 lakhs. 2 lakh is more of your sales, which either you pay along with interest or give us the reasoning. That's what rule 88C is. ठीक है? Form and manner of utilizing 2A. 2A is like एक बार generate होगा. This now you can read. 2B is auto populated. It is a static statement once a month, and it will have all the detail, जिसके basis पे you can take the credit. Next, furnishing of the return GSTR3B. GSTR1 is over. GSTR2B is over. Now GSTR3B. अभी यहाँ से बहुत easy, एकदम जल्दी हो जाएगा. It's a monthly return for every registered person by 20th of next month. Those who go for QRMP, on or before 24th of the month succeeding the quarter. It can be submitted electronically. Further, nil GSTR3 can be filed through SMS. It's simple return. It can be filed monthly or quarterly. और details आपको पूरा देना है GSTR3B में. Okay. Outward, inward, payment details. Nil GSTR, like GSTR1B nil hoga. Like that, GSTR3B is also mandatory for all the normal tax, even if there is no business activity. GSTR3B does not have any entry in any of tables. Nil GSTR3B cannot be filed if taxpayer has made an outward supply, including or has received any RCN. Output input सब nil चाहिए तो you can file nil GSTR written through SMS. My output is nil, my input is nil, but I have paid tax through RCM ना गया. Nil GSTR3B can be filed through SMS using registered mobile number. Okay. Rectification of mistake. This is beautiful. Mark it important because there is a change in the date also. इसको crown पहना. मैं आपको बहुत क्विकली वो ही पढ़ा रही हूँ जो एसेंशियल है. I could have gone as recommended by so many of you कि सीधा क्वेश्चन पर उतना भी बाउंसर जाएगा. What I am saying is, in any of the GSTR1, 3B, by mistake ना genuinely गलती हो गई, can you revise the return? जैसे इनकम टैक्स में बिलेटेड रिटर्न, रिवाइज्ड रिटर्न till the December of the next year, answer is no. But in my routine return GSTR3B, there is a column for rectification of earlier returns. So can I rectify? Yes. For financial, इसका मैं आपको बस gist बता दे रही हूँ कि for financial year 23-24 you can rectify the return by 30th of November 2024 or actual date of furnishing the annual return. Tell me, is this clear to all of you? If there's a registered person and he discovers कि कोई गलती हो गई, error हो गई, कुछ रह गया, such rectification cannot be done when omission of particulars are discovered as a result of scrutiny and all. Last date of making any addition or rectification GSTR3B return shall be earlier of the following. 30th November of the succeeding financial year, actual date of furnishing the annual return. ठीक है? A return furnished under 39 on which self-assessment tax has been paid is considered as a valid return. Filing of return for current month is not possible when you have not filed the earlier month. Taxpayer needs to electronically sign the submitted return. Taxpayers can electronically sign their returns by digital signature or Aadhaar verification and all. Okay. In short, GSTR 3B में if there is any error, you can rectify it any time by 30th of November of the next year or due date of filing annual return. Annual return का due date क्या है बेटा? December 24. उसके पहले कभी भी, whichever is early. चलो, now तो very simple ones. GSTR 4, filing of composition. Composition में you are breaking the chain. Quarterly एक बार whatever is your turnover on that 1%, like that you pay the tax. और return तो साल में एक बार file होता है. हाँ? Every registered person paying tax under composition will file an annual return from GSTR through common portal by 30th of the April. All the annual returns you can file by December 24, but composition you can file by 30th of April. साल में एक ही बार. हाँ, statement to be furnished in GST CMP 08 containing details of self-assessment tax by 18th of month after quarter. April, May, June, May, whatever is your turnover, say your turnover is 18 lakhs, उस पे 1% tax you will pay by 18th of July. समझ में आ रहा है? Inward supply of composition supply received will be auto-populated in GSTR 4A. Composition supplier can also buy from registered supplier, no? Followed or not? And composite supplier is not unregistered. He is registered, but he is not passing on that ITC. You remember section 10 composition? If your turnover is up to 150 lakhs and in specified state 75 lakhs, you can go for composition. Are you all with me? समझ में आ रहा है आपको? तो ITC का पूरा डिटेल रहेगा, but you cannot set off. Output tax you have to pay quarterly in the form of statement by 18th of the relevant quarter, और रिटर्न जो है वो साल में एक ही बार फाइल होगा GSTR 4. Yes, chalo, next. What are the details, contents of GSTR 4, TIN, TDS, late fees, refund, debit, invoice, inward, outward detail. ठीक है, not important, you can leave. Composite taxpayer required to provide consolidated details of outward supply and not invoice wise detail because they are no one is going to avail ITC. तो इंट्रास्टेट है, इंटरस्टेट है, सबके लिए एक ही रूल है. Since a composite supplier is not eligible to ITC, he will discharge his liability only by debiting the electronic cash ledger. He cannot use the electronic credit ledger क्योंकि ITC avail ही नहीं करता composition, तो electronic credit ledger use कैसे करेगा? तो logically only cash ledger. Filing of nil return GST CPM 08 is mandatory. Nil return can be. अभी तक we have done GSTR 1 nil, GSTR 3B nil, GSTR 4 composition nil. If a registered person opt for the beginning, he will where required furnish statement for a period prior to opting for composition levy till due date of furnishing the return. This is also 30th of November. Change it, please. They can ask you for the details. You know, when you are going for composition now, earlier years detail, can they ask you? Yes. पुराने डिटेल आपसे पूछ सकते हैं ना कॉम्पोजिशन के लिए. अरे टफ नहीं है, बहुत इजी है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा नया है आपके लिए, तो कंफर्ट होने में टाइम लग रहा है. चल. You didn't understand this, or you all followed? What is this? Huh? If a registered person opts for composition from the beginning of the financial year for earlier period, now I am going in composition, I may be in a regular. So if they ask, I can submit all the details required by 30th November 24 or due date of filing the annual return. तब तक जो पूछना है पूछ सकते हैं. GSTR 4 for the period prior to exiting from the composition scheme. अभी तो आप आए थे, अभी विड्रॉ करके जा रहे, फ्रॉम कॉम्पोजिशन यू आर गोइंग टू रेगुलर. ओके, सो इवन टिल यू गो टू रेगुलर, टिल दैट मंथ you will have to file the GSTR statement and GSTR return. Like from November 23 you decide कि you will go for regular, still GSTR 4 you will have to submit. Okay, right. Now NRTP, non-resident taxpayer, they have to obtain the registration 5 days before they are liable to pay the tax. Registration is valid for 90 days and they have to deposit the tax in advance. Ma'am, you have made us learn this from registration chapter. NRTP means any person who occasionally undertakes transaction involving supply of goods or services, whether as principal or agent, but they don't have any place of business in India. So generally they will file only one return within 7 days from due date. But if they have obtained the registration for more than 1 month, as I said, they can do for 90 days. Then by 13th day, by 13 days after end of the month or 7 days, ये सब table में लिखा है. NRTP shall pay interest, penalty, fees. NRTP is not required to file annual return. Annual return file करने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि one time he is just coming to India for once. These two have been recently added. So again I'm saying, I know it's recently added doesn't mean it's important. Mainly for CA students they have added. CMA students also have the return number, तो पढ़ ही लो better है. GSTR 7 is written for TDS. You know, when a taxable goods or services are supplied to central government, we are supplying to central government, state government, local authority, and recipient is required to deduct tax under section 51, where total value of supply exceeds 2,50,000. So the government, I have sold to government. Government should pay me money. They will deduct TDS under GST under section 51. Deduction shall furnish a monthly return deductor, and it should be furnished on or before 10th of the next month. And details of TDS furnished by deductor shall be made available electronically to a deductee. A TDS certificate is also required to be issued by a deductor in form GSTR 7A within 5 days of crediting amount. It contains detail of value and all. Dekho, the gist of GSTR 7 is very easy. Supplier is supplying. Central government, state government, PSUs, goods worth more than 2,50,000. The value of supply, goods or services, anything. Then central government will deduct the TDS under section 51. Clear to all of you? Same way TCS. Who will collect TCS? E-commerce operator. So he will file the return in GSTR 8 of the TCS collected. Okay. E-commerce operator liable to collect TCS shall furnish a statement in GSTR 8. Okay. Last date of filing the GSTR 8 is same, 10th of the next month. TDS, TCS, sub jagah. समझ में आ रहा है या स्पीड ज्यादा है? बोलो. I know you are not able to learn, you are just struggling and trying to understand. I can feel that as a teacher, क्योंकि ये पढ़ने में टाइम नहीं लगता है, बट मैं आपको सिर्फ जो जिस्ट है वही बता रही हूँ. बस नंबर्स और थोड़े याद रख लो, बस है. The due date of GSTR may be extended by commissioner. TCS next month तक बना है. The details of TCS furnished by e-commerce operator shall be made available electronically to each of supplier who supplied the goods. ठीक है. And then if there is a mistake in GSTR rate, again you can rectify it. See, any return, if there is a mistake, it can be rectified by 30th November following the end of the financial year or actual date, whichever is earlier. Okay. What is the due date of payment of the tax for monthly GSTR 3B, GSTR 5, GSTR 7, last date of filing the return? अगर composition में है तो you have to pay the tax quarterly by 18th or return yearly once by 30th of April. NRTP are required to make advance payment. Okay. Now QRMP scheme, which we have already studied in documentation, e-invoice, e-way bill, QRMP, IFF, ये हम पढ़ चुके हैं सब. Taxpayers having PAN based turnover up to 5 crore is eligible to go, and it is optional, that they can submit the return quarterly and payment monthly. Taxpayers must have furnished the last return, and they can opt in quarter from the first day. Quarterly. So they can opt in any quarter from the first day of the second month. जैसे हम ये ले लेते हैं, ऑलरेडी लिया है, जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर, क्वार्टर चल रहा है, तो फर्स्ट डे ऑफ द सेकेंड मंथ ऑफ प्रीसीडिंग क्वार्टर. जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर के पहले कौन सा है? अप्रैल मई जून. ओके, जुलाई से यू वांट टू गो फॉर क्वार्टरली रिटर्न मंथली पेमेंट, देन अप्रैल में फर्स्ट डे ऑफ द सेकेंड मंथ ऑफ द प्रीसीडिंग क्वार्टर, मई से लेकर till the last day of the first month of this quarter, 31st of July, you can opt for QRMP. Once you opt for continuously, you have to do that. Clear to all of you? When you can opt for QRMP? A registered person intending to avail QRMP, हाँ, if you want to avail from July, then last quarter, अप्रैल में जून का सेकेंड मंथ, मतलब फर्स्ट में, और ये क्वार्टर का फर्स्ट मंथ का लास्ट डे 31st जुलाई के बीच में you can opt for. Taxpayers are not required to opt for every quarter. Once opt means they will do QRPM only. When you want to cancel, you can come out, but same. In case where registered person's turnover exceeds 5 crore, and he is not eligible for the quarterly return. Okay, कब से कब तक बेटा? The facility for opting out of the scheme for a quarter will be available from first day of the second month of the preceding quarter till the last day of the following month. So April, May, June quarter. Registered month can opt out from 1st May till 31st of July. जाते वक्त from where you want to go, ahead of that you have to intimate. आते वक्त, coming in. While going out, if you want to opt out in April, May, June, then intimate from in between 1st May to 31st July that from June onwards we will be out of the QRM. This can be asked in MCQ. QRMP scheme is GSTN wise. Distinct person can avail QRPM. So some may avail QRPM, some may not avail. मतलब पैन इंडिया बेसिस पे ऐसा नहीं है, आपको QRPM करना है for GSTN in Maharashtra, you can. You don't want to do it in Delhi, you can. Due date of filing the quarterly return, monthly payment, 24th of the month for northeastern states, and for southwestern center it's 22nd. I know थोड़ा सा theoretical है, but ठीक है, easy है. Last part now for the QRPM. Tax due in each of the first 2 months of the quarter to be paid by depositing pre-filed. Payment to be made by 25th of the succeeding month. April का payment 25th May. May का payment 25th June. और जून का तो आप रूटीन में फाइल ही करोगे ना. Monthly payment, quarterly return. Monthly payment you can make by 25th. Clear? Chalo. Now there are 2 ways of making ये वाला पार्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट थोड़ा सा ब्रेक लगा के करते हैं. लीव दिस पार्ट, और ये सब तो हमने ऑलरेडी कर लिया है. Table also we have done. Only 5-10 minutes of teaching is left, but I want to go for directly the question answer. Shall we do that? Question answer, थोड़ा break भी हो जाएगा, and then we will come back. See, all the taxpayers are required to file GSTR1 only after the end of the current tax period. Yeah, you are right. But in case of casual taxable person, और where cancellation of the GST, and you can't wait कि नवंबर का पूरा महीना तो खत्म होने दो, नवंबर का नवंबर में ही फाइल कर दो. Statement is partially valid. A taxpayer cannot file the GSTR before the end of the current period. However, following our expectations, casual taxable person cancellation, taxpayer has applied for cancellation, then he will be allowed to file the GSTR1. समझ में आ रहा है? उस मंथ का उसी मंथ में फाइल करो. Next, Pragya, a taxpayer registered under regular scheme, filed GSTR 3B for the month of October by November 20th. After filing the return, she discovers that the value of the taxable supply has been underreported. Is there any way out we can rectify GSTR 3B? No. But can we rectify in subsequent returns? There's a column for that. Yes. The GSTR law says a return once filed cannot be revised. However, details of transactions that are required to be amended can be changed in the future GSTR once. Yeah. Thus, Pragya cannot revise GSTR 3B. However, she can amend the details of tax payable which was underreported in the month of November. The tax payable on account of such error will be paid along with interest in GSTR 3B for the month of November. ओके, तो आप रेक्टिफाई कर दो नेक्स्ट जो भी रिटर्न है उसमें. टाइम लिमिट फॉर मेकिंग रेक्टिफिकेशन. आर यू फॉलोइंग? नाउ इट इज क्वेश्चन आंसर फॉर्मेट. Maximum time limit with the rectification is permissible is earlier of the following: by 30th November or annual date of filing the return. The last date of filing the return is 31st December. Hence, if the annual return is filed before 20th of October, then no rectification can be done after 20th of October. मतलब नवंबर और ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग द रिटर्न. तो एक्चुअल ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग द रिटर्न इज दिसंबर, बट इन्होंने तो 30th of November and they have filed actually their annual return in 25th of October. So whichever is earlier, 30th November earlier है या 25th October? 25th October. Take your time and tell me, is it clear to all of you? Keep commenting so that you are also not going in that monotony. Not clear question answer form or clear? First question we have already done. Second I said now. कि तब का रिटर्न तभी फाइल करेंगे. Thank you that it is all clear. This is an expected question because I told you these dates have been changed now. So mark third question. मैं chapter wise exam दूंगी ना उसमें I'll give you this question. And let me see how you present the answer. Are you getting what is it saying? If there is a mistake in GSTR 3B, can you revise it? Answer is no. But can you rectify in subsequent return? Yes. Anytime before 30th of 11 and actual date of filing the annual return. So your annual return they have filed in October. So you can rectify. Messrs C, a registered supplier, is designing wedding dresses under regular scheme as aggregate turnover of 30 lakh. It is viewed that in current financial year, it is permitted to file its statement of outward supply on quarterly basis. You can go for QRPM if your turnover is less than 150 lakhs. While its accountant advises कि नहीं monthly रहने देते हैं, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So section 37 stipulates GSTR for a particular month is required to be filed by 10th of the next month. GSTR 1 not by 10th but by 11th. 10th नहीं है बेटा, 11th करो उसको. So GSTR 1 monthly, GSTR 1 you can file by 11th of next month. But they are saying, Are, we are chota mota people, our turnover is 30 lakhs. Why file monthly GSTR 1 by 11th of next month, GSTR 3B by 28th of next month? लंबा रास्ता है. चलो हम क्या करते हैं? We'll go for quarterly return. Can they go for? Yes. Presently, as a measure of easing the compliance requirement of the small taxpayers, the detail of outward supplies of goods or services or both to a registered person can be furnished for first and second month up to cumulative value of 50 lakhs in each month using IFF. जो आपको पूरा प्रोसीजर बताया था ना, वही लिखना है आपको. On the portal from the first day of the month till 13th. Taxpayers opting for giving the monthly payment and quarterly return, they have got option to file the quarterly return. Hence, Messrs C can file GSTR 1 on quarterly basis as their turnover does not exceed 5 crores. Easy question. Next one. Mr. Colley is a registered supplier in Gujarat. He is filing GSTR 1 every month. During the month of February, went off out of India and could not do any transaction. He believes that there is no transaction, there is no need to file the return. Is he right? No. Even if there is no transaction, no business, he still has to file nil return. Nil return compulsory file करना पड़ेगा बेटा आपको. Mrs. Zarina, a registered supplier, did not file GSTR 3B for the month of June, but she wants to file the GSTR 3B for July. Is it possible? No. When you want to file the GSTR 3B for July, you have to make sure that earlier returns are filed on time. If not, you are not allowed. X has made any outward supply during the month of September. However, X has procured certain input services. Output तो कुछ नहीं किया, but input तो किया. X is of opinion that he can file the return by SMS. Answer is no. Through SMS, you can file nil return when output input both is nil. Here output is nil, but input to hai na. He cannot file a nil return. A is a CA and is registered on query regarding return filing. A has represented as GST practitioners. Abhi aayega like TRP, you can become a GST practitioner. But you know, just because you are a CA and you are having COP, no. You have to get yourself registered in the GST tax practitioners. A is of the view that since he is a qualified CA, he can go for GST practitioners. Answer is no, it's not correct. A CA can take. He can become a GST practitioner. However, holding a certificate of practice and CA does not imply that he is already enrolled. He has to apply under the GSTP, you know. Then only he can represent. He has to apply. X Limited is winding up business in Rajasthan. Tax consultant has suggested X Limited will have to file either annual return or final return. Do you agree? No. Even if you are closing your business, you have to file the annual return for the whole year and even final return. No, the stand taken by tax consultant is not correct. Annual return is required to be filed by every registered person paying tax as normal taxpayer. Final return is filed by a registered person who have applied for cancellation within 3 months of the date of cancellation. Yeah? तो एक बार कैंसिल हो गया तो विद इन 3 months he has to file final return. और annual return तो पूरे साल का करना है. So even if he is winding up the business, he has to file both the returns. Annual return also and final return also. Last one now. Yeah. Did you all like the questions? थोड़े से भी theoretical नहीं है, logically आप लिख सकोगे. And even though it is written in para, I would recommend you to write in points. No, the stand taken by tax consultant is incorrect. Annual return is to be filed, and if he is closing, then within 3 months, okay, from the date of application or from the date of cancellation order, आपको रिटर्न भरना पड़ेगा. कौन सा रिटर्न? फाइनल रिटर्न. इट्स नॉट एनुअल रिटर्न के लिए सब्स्टिट्यूट नहीं है फाइनल रिटर्न. Explains the provision relating to annual return contain. Routine annual return किसको भरना पड़ेगा? So every registered person other than ISD and TDS, TCS, NRTP, इनको छोड़ के annual return he has to file. And with that, from this year they have added self-certified reconciliation statement, reconciling the supply that is declared for financial year with the audited financial statement. Your turnover in the GSTR 3B return and annual return, and your turnover in income tax 3CB report and all should tally. The commissioner may exempt class of registered person from filing annual return. Further, any department of central government, local authority whose books of accounts are required to be audited, or an auditor appointed by auditing is not required to furnish the annual return. So generally, the annual return सबको भरना पड़ेगा, even if they are closing the business. How are the questions? 10 questions. चलो अब रिटर्न आके जल्दी से प्रोसीजर करते हैं, बचा हुआ प्रोसीजर. I took time to make you write, बेटा. ये तो हमने कर लिए ना, GSTR, NRTP, due date of filing the return, quarterly return. Yeah. Now those who are going for quarterly return, their turnover is less than 5 crore and monthly payment. How do they make monthly payment? क्योंकि अभी पूरा आउटपुट इनपुट तो हुआ नहीं है ना. So they can go for fixed sum method. Fixed sum method मतलब take the data from the last quarter and अंदाज से pay कर दो. Pay tax due in each first 2 months of the quarter. 35% of the tax paid in cash in the return for the preceding quarter, where return was furnished quarterly. For example, October, November, December, the amount paid in cash is 1 lakh. हाँ? तो अब तुम जनवरी फरवरी में कोई मंथली रिटर्न नहीं भर रहे हो, तुम क्वार्टरली रिटर्न भर रहे हो. बट जनवरी फरवरी में you will have to do that monthly payment, no? So you can estimate that last quarter how much tax is paid, 1 lakh. उसका 35% पे कर दो. मैम ये 35 how did you decide? Fixed one. Okay, right. समझ में आ रहा है? Right. Thank you that you like the questions. They are all applicability questions. But as a teacher, I can tell you, it's good that you have followed, but to reproduce in exam, repeat करना, इसका gist. ये chapters का gist repeat करना. चलो. तो fix sum method में क्या है? My October December quarter is over. Now January February March, I'm not submitting monthly return GSTR1. मैं तो GSTR सीधा क्वार्टरली पे करूंगी. अरे बट मंथली आई हैव टू अपलोड इनवॉइस सो दैट अदर पर्सन कैन टेक द क्रेडिट थ्रू इनवॉइस फर्निशिंग फैसिलिटी. एटलीस्ट 50 lakhs तक आई कैन अपलोड, है ना? तो क्या बेसिस पे मैं टैक्स पे करूं? लास्ट 3 months 1 lakh if I have paid, 35% of that in January, 35% in February और मार्च का तो पूरा. Tax paid in cash in return for the last month. This is or, huh? अगर मंथली पे किया है तो दिसंबर में जितना पे किया है जनवरी में भी उतना पे करो. क्वार्टरली पे किया है तो उसका 35%. Like you know how you pay advance tax and installment 15%, 45%, 75%, 100%. If you have seen the DT Sarathi batch, one single class, I have done advance tax, interest, small topics. तो यहाँ लास्ट क्वार्टर का 35% पे कर दो या लास्ट मंथ का एज इट इज पे कर दो. ओके, दिस इज फिक्स्ड मेथड. और सेल्फ असेसमेंट मेथड इज, हाँ, you can pay tax considering tax liability, output, input and pay tax. Don't see, generally tax is also paid monthly and return is also filed monthly. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? हाँ, क्वार्टरली रिटर्न मंथली पेमेंट. टैक्स तो मंथली पे कर रहे हैं और रिटर्न जो है वो मंथली नहीं है, रिटर्न वो है क्वार्टरली है. सो आइदर दे आर सेइंग आप एस्टिमेट कर लो एंड पे, नो प्रॉब्लम. नाउ इंटरेस्ट. सपोज इफ यू हैव paid the tax where auto calculated for the first 2 months, no interest is applicable. Department only said कि last quarter whatever you have paid, estimated 35% pay the tax now. Last month what you paid, you are only asking us to estimate and now you are charging interest. No interest. If you are paying the tax for QRMP model on fixed sum method, then no interest is charged. Yeah, but if you are going for self assessment method, इंटरेस्ट एप्लीकेबल होगा रूटीन में अंडर सेक्शन 50. व्हाट इज सेक्शन 50? चार्ज इंटरेस्ट एट द रेट ऑफ 18%. व्हाट इज 51? TDS. व्हाट इज 52? TCS. या राइट. फाइलिंग ऑफ GSTR1 क्वार्टरली बेसिस. ऑप्शन फैसिलिटी टू अपलोड द इनवॉइस अप टू 50 lakhs in each month. Invoice pertaining to last month of quarter to be uploaded. ठीक है, ये सब कुछ नहीं है. IFF क्या है ये आपको बताया था. क्वार्टरली रिटर्न डिपेंडिंग ऑन द स्टेट. और बेनिफिट क्या है? You'll have to submit only 4 returns and monthly payments are also very easy. Did I teach you first return from the day on which you become liable till the date you get the registration? Huh? So if the person applies within 30 days, he can file his first return. Same like GSTR 3B. Annual return. For the whole year, you have to file annual return. Yes, GSTR 9. For composition, annual return. See, all annual return dates are 31st December of the next year. But annual return for composition is 30th of April. Because वो साल में एक ही return submit करते हैं. E-commerce operator. Who is required to furnish the self-certification reconciliation statement? Star mark latest amendment. You can get a theory question on this latest amendment. Beta. देखो क्या है. All registered person are required to furnish a self-certified reconciliation statement along with annual return if aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crore. फिर आप QRPM नहीं जा रहे, आप रूटीन कर रहे हैं, तो you have to give the self-certified statement. Following persons are not required: CTP, NRTP, ISD, input service distributor, TDS, and all. Such person shall furnish electronically annual return along with a copy of self-certified. Self-certified will reconcile the value of supplies declared and return furnished with the audited financial statement. Self-certified मतलब आप ही देख लो कि दोनों जगह टर्नओवर सेम होना चाहिए. ठीक है, this you can skip reading. Final return, when you have to submit within 3 months from date of cancellation or date of order of cancellation, whichever is earlier, you have to submit the final return. Detail of inward supplies person. See, some person don't have to pay tax and all, but if they are embassies and all, they will get unique identification number so that whatever input tax credit they have obtained, they can get a refund. Table हमने पूरा पढ़ लिए. This I'm asking you to skip because there are so many late fees. 100 per day up to 5,000. This one you can remember, there are more late fees not required. अच्छा, who is GST practitioners? याद है TRP किए थे income tax में. A person who is qualified, he can help you file your GSTR return. But only qualification doesn't work. What is qualification? He should be citizen of India, sound mind. He should not be insolvent. He should not have been convicted as competent by court, and he should have the degree as GST practitioners for 5 years, or CA CMA CS or universities. This is just a procedure you can read once. He should not be guilty of any offense. What GST practitioners will help? GSTR 1 file करने, पूरे return file करने, making payment through electronic cash ledger, generating e-way bill, challans and other details, getting refund and all. Right. GST practitioners are permitted only to furnish the detail of outward supply as per the latest amendment. Earlier, they were allowed to do outward, inward both. Now only outward supply, they can go to a GSTR for filing the outward supply return. Inward के लिए allowed नहीं है. Any registered person opting to furnish his return through the GSTP shall give his consent to prepare and furnish return, and before confirming, ensure the fact. You can, like, you go to the TRP, you can go to GSTP. That's it. And question answers वापस से करो. Even if you have followed, do the questions tomorrow when we are meeting for exemption chapter. If you have any doubt, I will clear. Okay, before we close, because this topic is little different, we will do the gist ones. What is the first return you have to file on monthly basis? GSTR 1, output tax, by 11th. If I am going for QRPM, then it is by 13th of the next month, I have to pay the tax. Return I can file quarterly. Once you do GSTR 1 correctly, auto drop in GSTR 2. But if the person has not paid the tax, GSTR 2 में पड़ा होगा. But I can claim input tax credit only in GSTR 2B. Okay. Again, I'll have to file GSTR 3B by 20th of next month, in which I call it as on Lekha Jokha. GS output minus input and tax payable. GSTR 4 is composition. They just make one payment quarterly. If their turnover is less than 150 lakhs, they can go for composition. Quarterly once make payment. So yearly 4 payment and only one return for the composite taxpayer. Okay. Then NRTP and CTP, it's very simple. Then we have annual return. Everyone should submit the annual return. The person who is going for cancellation, from the date of cancellation or date of order of cancellation, he has to file within 3 months the final return. But even though annual return is due and now you have to file final return, dono alag alag file karna. Okay, so this is all the gist. Yeah, when you are going for quarterly return, monthly payment, now because I'm not having output minus input and all, last quarter ka 35% just pay the tax, you don't have to pay interest. Or last month ka full same copy, same amount you have to pay in the QRPM model. But you don't go for the fixed estimate method. You go for actual output input, then interest will be charged. Okay. I've tried my best to justify this topic by making you write the GSTR numbers. Then we have checked the table. In table GSTR 6, 7 kahin na kahin kuch skip kiye hain because they are ISD, CTP and all, which is not there in your syllabus. Okay. So question answers, whatever I have given, the 10 question answers, do it thoroughly. And we will be meeting tomorrow for the last topic. Officially last topic, as I said, there are small topics left for the CA students. Okay? Right. Anyone is having any doubt? Ask. That's all for today then. Thank you so much. Bye-bye all of you. Keep sharing this. Take a printout of notes, mark and study. Bye-bye all of you.